series to a 5th game as you take a look at Zoltan Toth.
Yeah, I think so, Kevin. Hey, this is a great team. They haven't won 5 championships in a row because they're a bad team.
Well, the Comets making their way out. Tim Lewicki, many thanks for joining us, and let's hope for a big crowd on Wednesday night at 7:30. And again, no local television. We will have the game for you along the Comets radio network. The Comets coming back out onto the field. They trail 4-0. Recapping the scoring, Bronco Zagota picking up his 3rd goal of the playoffs from Kevin Crow. Gene Wilrich scoring his 2nd at 3:11 of the first quarter to make it 2-0. Bronco Zagota assisting. Then it was Julie V scoring his 1st goal of the playoffs. Gene Wilrich assisting in 9:24 of the 2nd quarter on a power play goal. And Brian Quinn made it 4-0. Brian Quinn and Bronco Zagota putting together quite a feed. Quinn scoring from Zagota, and that's where we stand right now. But now the situation looks like this. A descent penalty against Jan Goossens has 25 seconds remaining. It is actually Tim Clark's penalty. And if you're looking for security for San Diego, look at that stat. 14-6 when leading at the half. Now Alan Mayer hits the scoreboard, so the restart comes back to the Kansas City red line. The Comets are 2 men short. Julie V feeds far side, broken up by Frazier. 14 seconds to go in one penalty, 25 in the other. Wilrich to Zagota. Feed in front right there, Alan Mayer. And Allen looking downfield, tosses it out. Feeds to Ian Frazier. Again, remember, the Comets can knock the ball across 3 lines. And 1 penalty has expired. So the Comets now have 4 field players on. Here's Zagota. Feeds in front. Dumps it into the corner instead. Now Julie V centers it. V gets it back on the left wing boards. Just inside the Kansas City line. And both penalties have expired. So the Comets kill off that 2-man advantage. And a big couple of 2 minutes for Kansas City.
Yeah, that was great play by the 3 guys that were out there, Kevin. When you see the players that were out there, Zagota, Crow, Woolrich, Ward Hermes, you know, that's some feat right there to stop them guys even getting shots on goal with 3 guys.
George Katakalinas has it for San Diego on the left side to Wilrich. Wilrich knocks it back. Katakalinas has it there. Just to the San Diego side of the midfield line. Wilrich feeds ahead. Collier breaks that play up. And it's dumped all the way back into the San Diego zone. 13:29 to go 3rd quarter. The Sockers leading 4-0. On goals by Zagota, Wilrich, B, and Quinn. And again, we stress all veteran players. Ball is knocked into the midfield. Zagota has it. Working his way in on Gary Collier. Zagota now stops. Plays it back. George Katakalinas on the left side to Pesa. Diego Pesa feeds to Juan Hermes. Now backs it off to Katakalinas. Sockers content to just knock it around against Kansas City. Here's Zagota moving towards the D. Knocked away by George Espinosa. Big collision. No call of the play. Pesa with it. Cuts it to the left side. He feeds in front. Wide of the net. Now Kevin Crow with it. Crosses it to Pesa. He one-times it high and wide. Goossens along the boards. Draws a double team. Goossens brings it off the boards. And the foul against Kevin Crow. Jan Goossens, the Comets' leading scorer. Looking ahead to a possible Game 5. The Comets could have Louis Nanshoff back, very possibly Damir Haramina. And in a Game 5 situation, would you risk your team captain, Gino Schiraldi?
I would think in that sort of situation, Kevin, you know, you got to win that game to go on, and you've got to go with your strongest players. And if Gino Schiraldi is any close to playing, you know he's going to go with him.
Second foul against the Sockers. Restart along the right wing boards. Tasso Koutsoukas will play it. Here's Cacho with the left foot, fired it wide, rebounds to Tasso. He chests it down to the corner. Plays it off the corner boards. Here's Quinn with it for San Diego. it knocked away. Kutsukas has it for Kansas City. Tasso drops it back to Cacho. Ahead it comes Dale Mitchell. He has it knocked away. But the Comets get it right back. Dump it back to the San Diego line. Deflected away. Here's Charlie Ficus with a shot. Holt the stop. And it's cleared back into the midfield. Kevin Crow can't catch up with it. Here's Tasso Kutsukas. Knocking it back into Alan Mayer, who returns the feed to Tasso Kutsukas. San Diego with possession for the first 2.5 minutes of this third quarter. Now Ladouceur takes down Marhetic and the foul against San Diego. Third foul of the quarter against the Sockers. Marhetic will dribble on Jacques Ladouceur. Feeds to Goossens. He plays it in front. Nobody home. Here's Charlie Green. A drive deflected up into the crowd. And last touch by San Diego. Corner kick Kansas City. 11:09 to go, third quarter. The Comets still very much in this game. As we have seen so many times in this league, a 4-goal lead, certainly not insurmountable. Here's a shot by Goossens, deflected up into the crowd, and again, a corner kick to Kansas City. Jan Goossens. Boy, what an addition he has been. A lot of people said up in Minnesota that perhaps Goossens was on the downhill slide. Here's Cacho firing it to Goossens. He scores! Well, Jan Goossens responding with another goal, and it's 4-1 San Diego.
And that's Jan Goossens there, Kevin, showing that he can put goals away with both feet and not just with his right foot. This one, Cacho actually slices it, miskicks the ball, fortunately goes over to Goossens and hits it with his left foot in the top corner of the net. As we take a look at it again, Cacho's actually taking a shot on goal, hits the ball, fortunately flies to Goossens, and Goossens makes no mistake with the left foot.
Well, all the players, when they're looking at this tape, will say, hey, nice pass, Cacho. And Cacho will probably swear on a stack of Bibles that, hey, it was a pass. I really meant to feed Goose. But the big thing is the Comets have closed the gap to 3. 3:56 the time of the goal. Here's Espinoza to Goossens. Goossens at the midfield line. Now Charlie Green has it. Right puts it ahead to Mitchell. He turns on Carlos Milian. Feeds off the inboards out in front. Knocked high into the air. It comes down to Perez. And Hugo Perez feeds into the midfield. And we're going to get a foul against George Espinoza. Now Perez writhing in pain at the midfield line.
As we take a look at this, Kevin, you notice Hugo Perez, as soon as he gets a yard start on George Espinoza, his first reaction is to go across the body, across the plane, the guy, which is a great move because either, number one, you get away from him and you hold his run, or you draw the foul. It's a very good play by Perez.
Perez is still down. And immediately grabbed his right shoulder. The Comets had been shut out for 40 minutes, 37 seconds until Goossens' goal. The last goal coming at 8:19 of the fourth quarter on Tuesday. So Perez is down. And you just have to hope it's nothing serious. When he grabbed that shoulder, the first thing you think about is perhaps a collarbone, perhaps a dislocated shoulder. You know, we'll look at the injury again, and the turf, there is not that much padding down there. When players fall, they fall very, very hard. Now the team position being called out, and he just fell on that right shoulder. You know, of course, this graduation time, I know for a lot of college soccer players throughout the Kansas City area, I know you've worked with a lot of them, and really a joyous time for them.
Oh, yeah. In fact, one of the goalkeepers that plays in my amateur team, it's Rick Pierce. He's a standout goalkeeper for the Rockhurst College and has been for 4 years. He's graduating today, and congratulations, Rick.
You know, it's great for the young players that years ago there was nothing for amateur soccer players beyond the college ranks, really, except perhaps the senior men's leagues outdoors. But now with the addition of indoor soccer, you've got Well, you've got the AISA, you've got the MISL, and obviously there are going to be other feeder leagues developed for young players out of college to perfect their craft, to perhaps fine-tune their craft, and eventually one day make it to the Major Indoor Soccer League. I think that's what a lot of college players look to.
And it's nice to see the area college teams around Kansas City, Kevin, coming through with such prominent programs now. Rockhurst College, of course, for many years have had a powerful program going with Coach Tony Toko. Ben Papoulis did a great job at the Park College. Charlie Carey, former Comets player, has now been named as head coach at Baker University. And, of course, UMKC, formerly coached by yours truly, is now being handled by Bob Bazada, another former Comets player. So a lot of soccer programs becoming very prominent around town, and it's going to be providing a good opportunity for many of the local amateur players.
Just think, one day you're going to be the answer to a great trivia question, the first head coach of the Kangaroos of UMKC. Well, the Comets, I tell you, there aren't many teams that have done that. The New York Arrows did it, the Baltimore Blast did it, and the Comets trying to be the third team to lose the first game and go on to win a 5-game series. Well, Perez goes off, and it does not look good. They are still looking at him along the San Diego bench area.
Well, Kevin, you're talking about the Comets breaking records. They've been doing it all season long. In fact, in the last playoff game, they had most scores in the game, most scores in the half, most scores in the quarter, and it goes on and on.
It has been a record-setting year, and of course, it could go to a 5th game here. But nothing is certain in this league. Espinoza to Marhetic. Comets on the attack. Marhetic goes wide. The shot blocked. Rebounds to Busk. He couldn't get a shot away as Carlos Milian cleared it for the San Diego Sockers. Now Alan Mayer chips it up into the crowd. It goes, and we'll get a kick into San Diego.
Already, Kevin, you can see the difference in the attitude with the San Diego players being ahead at this point. Julie V just charging that ball down. I don't think I've seen Julie run that far for that long in a long time.
Well, what a night for Alan Mayer. He has played well. Of course, in the big series, you look to your key players, and Alan Mayer, obviously, a guy that you have to look to for the big save. Kevin Crow drops it back to Bronco Zagota with 9:50 to go third quarter. San Diego leading 4-1. Now Pesa gives back to Zagota. Bronco Zagota ties up, double team. Pesa comes away with it. Feeds back to Crow, and Crow just swings it right side to George Katakalitis. Now Bikas battling along the boards with Pesa. Ball comes free. Bonchek has it. Now knocks it back towards the corner, but right there Bronco Zagota. Here's Zagota, brings it out of the corner, knocked away, and Jens Busk has it. Jens Busk for Kansas City draws a double team again. And this time, the ball is cleared back into the midfield. Kevin Crow is there.
San Diego, Kevin, very efficient at doing the double team. Every time the ball goes anywhere near the board, there's always 2 players around the ball.
Ball is cleared back into the San Diego zone. Pesa went down at the other end. Zoltan Toth from Hungary feeds it up the left wing to Crow. Back to Toth. San Diego knocking the ball around here with 8:45 to go in the third quarter. Comets trying to get back in it. They trail by 3. Ball headed down. And we get a whistle. Foul against Gary Collier, and that'll be the second foul of the quarter against Kansas City. We just received a report that the first quarter altercation along the San Diego bench that we were talking about was not Ron Newman and Kevin Crow, but Kevin Crow and Chacha Namdar. Crow allegedly threw a punch at Namdar. Oh, there's an elbow from Quinn, and they're battling along the boards, and finally down goes Jens Busk, and we're going to get a penalty to Brian Quinn.
Well, he did everything he could, Kevin, to get that penalty to Brian Quinn.
And now they're going to take Jens Busk off. They're battling along the boards. An wicked elbow from Brian Quinn.
But there's just no reason that Jens Busk should be going off for this 2 minutes also.
Watch that elbow. And yet they take off Jens Busk.
Just a ridiculous call by the referee.
Brian Quinn.
Jens Busch not even making a move to protect himself there. I can't see how they even figured he was even anywhere close to being involved with that.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, and Jens Busch,
Oh boy.
I think he's wondering what's going on.
I can't believe that call.
Well, and yet in the other instance where it was Goossens contesting a ball with Carlos Milian, they took Goossens off singly.
Such is the inconsistency of the refereeing.
Otto Marhetic has it on the right side to Cacho. Feeds off the boards to Marhetic. Both teams 4 aside. Here's Marhetic battling along the corner boards. Now Toth, the ball loose along the penalty area, and we get a foul against Charlie Green. Marhetic falls over Gene Wilridge, and then Toth just kind of drops the ball. Here's Zagota running into the Kansas City zone. Near side, line of serve. His shot deflected high in the air. Rebound headed towards the Kansas City goal, and Alan Mayer the stop again. Mitchell, long feed up into the penalty box, and we will get a kick-in coming up. 7:39 to go, third quarter, and officials timeout coming up here. With high score, the San Diego Sockers 4 and the Comets 1. We'll come right back. On hand at the Sports Arena in San Diego. The word on Hugo Perez is that he is having his shoulder wrapped along the bench area. Perez, and I don't know whether they're putting ice on it or they're simply wrapping it with an ace bandage, but he has his shirt off along the bench area. He's along the back of the bench area, actually. The team doctor is working on him now. And obviously, if San Diego loses Perez, that is really a cog in their offense.
He certainly is, Ken, a very, very skillful player, which makes an awful lot happen for San Diego.
All right, Chacha Namdar. Along the bench area, along with Milian. They say the foul is against Kansas City. Chacha Namdar, you know, is a guy who has played for San Diego, and he's an Iron Man. This guy is unbelievable in that he is not what you would call a marquee player, but he has been outstanding for San Diego. San Diego now in the Kansas City zone. The foul against Kansas City. They played into the corner. Hermes bounces it off the glass just over the crossbar, and it's cleared all the way back. Chacha Namdar having played in all 52 games for the Sockers. Here's Wilrich, cross field to Clavijo. 7:04 to go, third quarter. 46 seconds remaining in the penalties. Each team playing with 4 field players. It opens up the field. Everybody has more space to work in. Wilrich on the right side. Drops it back, Kevin Crow. Crow right puts it into the corner. Wilrich is there. Tries to drag it out of the corner, poked away by Cacho, and here's Goossens feeding ahead right side to Dale Mitchell. Working on Kevin Crow, cuts it to the middle. Crow stepped in front of Mitchell, and Toth comes up throwing for Wilrich. Wilrich leaves it for Crow, who's open. He shoots just wide of the net. Rebounds to Goossens. He feeds to Tasso Gutsukas. One-on-one now against Zagota. Here's Busk out of the penalty box. Out in front. Far side of Gutsukas. He's ridden into the boards, and Toth just covers up. Good opportunity there for Jens Busk. Now here's Pesa. Into the corner. Clavijo centered in front. Pesa fired it wide with a header. Interesting matchup to look for. Brian Quinn and Jens Busk. Now Busk coming off the field. Being replaced by Charlie Green. Here's a steal by Zagota. Working on Frazier. Kicked out by Alan Mayer. Here's Quinn with it. He couldn't do anything with the ball. Comets will counterattack. Tasso, far side of Marhetic, who's open. Marhetic, the shot. Save made by Toth, and the loose ball covered up by Catacolita.
San Diego defense there, Kevin, did a good job of getting back and helping out Zoltan Koch with that ball. Charlie Green on the far post was looking very dangerous.
Julie V on the run along with Charlie Ficus, poked away by Espinoza. And the ball all the way back inside the San Diego line with 5:06 to go, third quarter. San Diego leading 4-1. It has been a wild and woolly one. Here at the Sports Arena, don't forget a game 5, if needed, will be Wednesday night at Kemper Arena at 7:30. We invite you to get your tickets early for that one because that is going to be a war. These two teams, if they go to a 5th game, it will be a Donnybrook. Charlie Green tries to slide the ball far side for Ficus. The pass just behind him in Juan Hermes. On the run across the midfield line. Pushes it far side, knocked away by Espinoza. George Espinoza tries to clear it crossfield. Right there, though, Charlie Green on the deflection. George Espinoza pushes it far side to Dale Mitchell. Played for the Canadian World Cup team this past summer. Now Tasso Koutsoukas. Tasso squares up, faces the San Diego goal, feeds to Mitchell, plays it off of Zoltan Toth, and Toth finally covers up.
Very close play there, Kevin. It certainly looked to me from here that could have been a handball outside the box.
Now Zagota with it for San Diego. Has a pass knocked away by Goossens, who has the lone Kansas City goal, and it's deflected up into the crowd. A kick in coming up to Kansas City. Still a lot of time for the Comets. 4-1 high score. San Diego leading the Comets. Goals for San Diego by Bronco Zagota, Gene Wilrich, Julie V, and Brian Quinn. Jan Goossens scoring for Kansas City. For Goose, his 4th of the playoffs. At 3:56 of the third quarter.
The Comets, Kevin, did well to pick up the initiative here. I think they've pretty much weathered a lot of the storm from San Diego. Now it's time to put their mark on the game and start playing the ball.
Here's Marhetic feeding far side to Goossens in the D. He turns, fires a wide rebound. Marhetic, he pushed it up into the crowd. Last touch by Pato Marhetic, and they rule a goal kick. And let's see, one official, I think, wanted a corner kick. The other one said goal kick, Herb Silva.
Who knows what these guys are going to give?
Well, Brian Quinn with those elbows up. You want to look at a matchup. How about Brian Quinn against Tim Clark? There you get a look at Marty Templin, one of the officials on the field. Herb Silva on your screen now. Crowd coming to life in the Sports Arena in San Diego. 3:28 to go, third quarter. Brian, like that Bronco Zagota, feeds back to Milian. Now Quinn battling with Clark. Ball comes free. Ladouceur has it to Quinn. Quinn has it knocked away by Gary Collier. Now Tim Clark for the Comets. Dishes it off right side of Marhetic. Here's Marhetic against Milian. Feeds in front. Knocked high in the air by Clavijo. Comes down to Tasso Koutsoukas. His drive with the left foot up into the crowd. And a goal kick coming up to the Sockers. Down to 3:04 left, third quarter. A reminder that the team returns home tomorrow on Eastern Airlines Flight 324, arriving at Eastern Airlines at KCI. And many of the fans we know have inquired about when they return. Here's Zoltan Toth, ready for the goal kick. And there you get a look at Hugo Perez. And they're still working on that right shoulder. So apparently the injury a bit more serious than we first thought. Now here's a steal by Jens Busk. Goossens moving into the San Diego zone. Tries to feed Mitchell, deflected by Crow up into the crowd, and we'll get a kick in to the Comets with 2:44 to go, third quarter. What this means is that Pace is getting more playing time here in the third quarter. Cacho will play it in from the right wing boards. Cacho looks, plays it out in front, off the glass, but right there Zoltan Toth. Long toss into the midfield, nobody home. Comets have it, and they'll counterattack the other way. Goossens has Cacho with him. They were looking for Cacho on the right side. Now Frazier with it. Ian Frazier dishes it off left side to Goosens. Back to Frazier. Now Goosens will set up in the box. Here's Mitchell cutting it to the middle. Knocks it out in front. Headed just high over the crossbar as he chipped it on the header over Zoltan Tov. Oh, what a play by Jan Goosens, and it was just over the crossbar.
And he certainly looked as if he knew exactly what he wanted to do there, Kevin. That wasn't just a head and a hope. He knew exactly where Toth was and tried to dip it over the top.
Hermes to Crow. He's open. He shoots. He scores! Kevin Crow from Juan Hermes. And it is now 5-1 San Diego.
Kevin Crow, Kevin, I think, has been threatening to do that against the Comets for the whole series. He's so strong when he comes forward. He's such a fast runner. Here you see him play the ball in. He gets a 1-2 back off Hermes. Ian Frazier battling, trying to get it inside. But unfortunately got caught the wrong side of Kevin Crow on the run, and he finishes it tremendously, the left-footed shot. Kevin Crow so strong in a situation like that. Frazier was all over him but couldn't get a foot on the ball.
Kevin Crow. Well, what a job he does for San Diego. One of the best markers in this league. Here's Marhetic to Clark, cuts it inside. The shot deflected in front. Toth is down, covers up. And Toth looks downfield and tosses it out near side to Juan Hermes.
Talk about Kevin Crow, Kevin, be one of the best markers in the league, but also when this guy goes forward, every time he goes forward, invariably always ends up with either a shot or goal, or at least, you know, with some sort of offensive play. When he goes, he makes sure it's a good run.
Marhetic goes down, no call on the play. And it's knocked high in the air by Bronco Zagoda. Headed down by Charlie Green. Marhetic chests it down. Quinn knocks it away from Marhetic. Boy, Brian Quinn really playing a physical game here tonight.
Playing with all that temper of an Irishman.
Bronco Zagoda left side into the Kansas City zone. Tries to slide it in front, deflected away. Ball is loose, covered up by Alan Mayer. Now Espinoza and Quinn. Picked that Zagoda tying up along the board. At the other end, Charlie Green, a shot. Oh, just wide of the net. Rebound, Spike is his shot. Blocked by Covino. Brian Quinn the other way.
Hey, no, Kevin, you talk about off-the-ball stuff. There was a case right there where possibly a call might have gone against George Espinoza for something off the ball.
Look at Zagoda give an elbow to George Espinoza. The call goes against San Diego, and that is 6 against the Sockers.
And obviously that was in retaliation for what happened earlier down on the boards.
So the 6th foul against San Diego.
And the point I was making, Kevin, on that play down there was a good chance there that George Espinoza did hit him into the board off the ball after the ball had gone by. There was no call made. Yet earlier in the game, they called it against Goosens when a goal was scored.
Let's look at it again.
As you take a look here, the ball goes into the boards. It bounces off. They're in a scrap for the ball, and George leans down and pushes him to the floor.
Now look at that. Bronco don't want any part of George Espinoza. Now let's see what we have here. Now we're going to get another bench warning against San Diego for not sending a player over.
Referee has issued a 30-second substitution warning on the San Diego bench. San Diego bench penalty.
Comets are going to go with a super power play here. They're sending Charlie Green out onto the field. They'll go with the super power play. Alan Mayer comes off.
Well, we know how well San Diego plays the super power play, Kevin. Now we'll get a chance to see how they defend against it.
I like this move from Dave Clements. Marhetic to Tasso. He blasted it off the post. Now Marhetic with it. On the dribble. Long feed. Right side to Goosens. He has to settle it in the corner. Feeds out in front. And the ball is cleared back into the midfield. So that'll do it in the third quarter. And I score the San Diego Sockers 5, the Comets 1. Back after this. Let's pause 10 seconds to allow our stations along our network to identify themselves in the Comets Playoff Network. Comets still with 1:42 to go on their power play. Alan Mary's back in goal. Charlie Green comes back to the bench. So the super power play was just for the final 19 seconds of the third quarter. Zoltan Toth pumps it into the Kansas City zone. Cacho races back along with Brian Quinn. Cacho to the corner along with Quinn. They battle. And finally, Cacho feeds into Alan Mayer.
And we had, Kevin, there 5 defenders on the field, and obviously now we've won the ball. On comes Ficus and Dale Mitchell.
And Marhetic will quarterback the power play. Here's Marhetic. Comets need a goal quickly here. Goosens on the right wing, up top now to Marhetic. Back to Goosens. Goosens cuts the ball to the middle. Here's Marhetic, the drive. This one high and wide. Rebounds to Marhetic. No foul in the play. Kutsukas, left-footed drive, blocked by Brian Quinn. Rebounds to Goosens. He knocks it towards the top of the D, but right there, Brian Quinn. Quinn in the midfield. Dumps it back. Kevin Crow shoots it ahead for Chacha Namdar. Namdar loses it along the boards momentarily. Here's Mitchell with it. He'll kick it, but right to Namdar. As the Comets were advancing towards the San Diego goal. Clavijo feeds to Crow. Back it comes Brian Quinn. Quinn dumps it back into the midfield. Headed away by Tasso Kutsukas. Here's Ficus heading it to Ian Frazier. Still 13 seconds to go in the power play. Marhetic moving into the San Diego zone. Marhetic dishes it off. Goosens settles it. Right-footed shot blocked by Brian Quinn. They bump in the corner. Now Quinn finally knocks it out. Oh, and Quinn took a shot at Jan Goosens. And a red card. A red card against Brian Quinn. He's finished. He is out of here. He took a shot at Jan Goosens.
And you can see that coming, Kevin. Brian Quinn has been elbowing and pushing people all game long. You know, it's good to have high-spirited players, but some of the stuff he does is just absolutely ridiculous. And actually there, I'm not sure if there's any actually contact made with that, the punch thrown or not, but still, that sort of retaliation, you know, you got to learn. This is game after game. Brian Quinn's been involved in these situations.
And that is a 5-minute penalty there. You see Brian Quinn headed for the locker room. He has been ejected on a red card violation. And I'll be honest, that doesn't surprise me whether he made contact or not. And we'll see it again.
It's just he's been involved in it so many times, Kevin.
Just taking the swipe, I think the intent more than anything else is what has Brian Quinn headed to the locker room. So the Comets with a 5-minute power play. Violent conduct. Here's Kutsukas the drive. This one wide of the net. Rebounds Wad Hermes. Knocks it all the way back into the midfield. Marhetic racing for it. So to Clavijo. Clavijo gets it. Knocks around in the corner. Tries to center it in front. Knocked away by Kutsukas. Here's Tasso spinning towards the corner. 4:40 left in the Comets power play. Golden opportunity here. Here's Goosens. Towards the end boards and the ball covered up by Zoltan Toth. 4:25 to go. Zagota out killing off this penalty. Nice sliding tackle by Kutsukas. Run down from behind by Zagota. And the foul against Rocco Zagota. First foul of the quarter against the Sockers. No fouls yet against Kansas City. Marhetic, right side to Goosens. Goosens in the corner, bangs along the boards with Kevin Crow. Now dumps it all the way back into the midfield. Marhetic. Now Kutsukas with it. Left side into the corner, Dale Mitchell. Mitchell up top to Marhetic. Far side, here's Goosens, the shot blocked. by the San Diego defense, and it's cleared all the way back into the midfield. Alan Mayer way out of his goal. Shoots it up the left side to Tasso Koutsoukas. Crossfield Goosens. He'll play it first time. The shot just wide of the net. Rebound to Mitchell. He couldn't get a shot away.
I think Dale Mitchell a little bit of surprise with the way the ball came off the board there. It was a powerful shot by Goosens and had a lot of speed when it rebounded.
Look at Zagota kicking at Goosens, and we get a foul against Rocco Zagota. Well, the scorecard for Brian Quinn in this series, he has 1 goal, 2 yellow cards, and a red card. Here's Marhetic into the corner for Goosens. Goosens the shot high and wide, rebound near side. Tasso just missed on the header, and it's cleared back into the midfield. Rocco Zagota, long feed, right side, Ladouceur. Jacques Ladouceur. 3:07 to go in the penalty. Ball comes free. Here's Tasso Koutsoukas with it. Ahead to Mitchell. Comets with a 3-on-2. Now 4-on-2. Mitchell tries to feed far side, but it's knocked away from him, and the Sockers will counterattack. Comets had better get back quickly because they have a numbers advantage. Ladouceur, his pass broken up by Marhetic. Well, that time I don't think the Comets saw Chacha Namdar breaking free into the Kansas City zone. Down to 2:37 to go in the power play. 10:51 to go in regulation. Comets down by 4. Into the corner, Goosens. Toth is out there, knocks it back. Comets will try and hold it in, can't. And we get a foul against Marhetic for dangerous play. Only the first foul of the quarter against Kansas City. Sockers trying to kill off a 5-minute man advantage. Ball is played in. Chacha Namdar loses it to Marhetic, and now we get a foul against Pato. Free kick, San Diego in the midfield. 2 fouls against each team. Rocco Zagota knocks it back to Kevin Crow. He'll feed into Zoltan Toth. Comets will pressure him. Toth plays it with his feet to Crow. Crossfield to Clavijo. Down to 2:04 to go in the power play. San Diego doing a good job of killing off this power play.
This is just an excellent team, Kevin, when it comes down to possession play. Everybody's moving. Everybody's looking for another angle, trying to make an outlet pass for the guy on the ball.
Now Chacha Namdar loses it to Ficus. Ficus moving right side into the San Diego zone. Back heels it to Jens Busk, who's out there on the power play. So the Comets now with Cacho, Busk, Marhetic, Mitchell, and Ficus on the power play. Now Cacho is replaced by Goosens. Marhetic run off the ball by Zagota, but Goosens coming onto the field picks it off. Right side to Dale Mitchell, crosses it. Jens Busk to header. Oh, and Hope made the save. And it deflects off the top of the glass up into the crowd.
It's a great ball by Dale Mitchell there to set Busk up for the header, but unfortunately Jens couldn't get the ball directed to either the post and hit it straight at the goalkeeper, making an easy save for Zoltan Toth.
Crowd chanting, Zoli, Zoli. They call him Zoli the goalie.
Yeah.
Corner kick, Kansas City.
He's a fan favorite here in San Diego.
Marhetic looking for Goosens, knocked away by Hermes. Here comes Alan Mayer out. He's up across the midfield line. Ball slide tackled, but back into the Kansas City zone. Jens Busk is there. Alan Mayer races back into his own goal. Still 1:02 to go in the Kansas City power play. The big thing is this is eating up time on the clock. Time that Kansas City needs because the Comets down by 4. Marhetic to Goosens. Centers it. Nobody home. Headed down by Jens Busk. He's run towards the boards by Hermes. And we get a foul against Juan Hermes. Free kick, Kansas City. Jens Busk will play it in to Mitchell. Mitchell dumps it back to Marhetic. Right-footed shot blocked by Jacques Ladouceur. Now Jens Busk towards the corner. Leaves it for Mitchell. Marhetic on the left side. 27 seconds to go in the power play. Marhetic to Jens Busk. He'll shoot it. He scores! Jens Buzka, power play goal, and that makes it 5-2. But still a standing O for the no-goal patrol.
Yeah, if you take a look at the replay, you see Pato Mahedic playing a fine ball across the ends. Again, it's a perfect ball. You always like a shot where you're running onto it to get all your power behind. And it's Fernando Clavillo, I believe, made a desperate tackle at the end there, but fortunately couldn't get his foot on it, and actually goes in the far post, and Zoltan Toth had already committed to the near.
Jens Boost scoring his second of the playoffs. Marhetic, the birthday boy, on the assist.
And that crowd, Kevin, going crazy even after Jens Boost had scored the goal. I can imagine what would have happened if they'd killed the 5 minutes.
But now just 8:28 to go. Tasso Koutsoukas heads it back into Gene Wilrich. Wilrich starts at a head pace, retreats across the midfield line. George Katakalides dumps it into the Kansas City zone. Gene Wilrich has it there. Wilrich goes down, the foul against Dave Bonchek. Comets were down to 18 seconds left on their power play when they scored. Ball will be played in. Bronco Zagota to Pesa. He lofts it up into the crowd, and the Comets will get a goal kick here.
Fans, the red card issued to Brian Quinn.
Game number 5 if needed, and at least at this point it looks like it will be.
Red card for the playoffs.
Coming up on Wednesday at Kemper Arena, 7:30 kickoff, no local TV. So if you want to see the game, you'll have to be at Kemper Arena. The tickets will be on sale all day tomorrow and the rest of the week, and all of the Capital ticket outlets and the Kemper Arena box office. Dale Mitchell dumps it back. Gary Collier. Comets trailing by 3. They came back before. Will they come back again? Here's Espinoza in front. A shot. Oh, and the save. I believe that may have hit Zagota on the arm, possibly. You'll have to look at the replay on that one. What an opportunity for George Espinoza. Comets on the attack again.
Great opportunity, Kevin, but a very difficult angle.
Here's Mitchell to Green. He fires it in front, rejected by Wilrich. Comets keep it alive. Charlie Green dumps it along the end boards. Milian is there. Ties up with Goosens, but beams ahead to Pesa. Diego Pesa across the midfield line. Pushes it far side to Wilrich. Working on Collier. Up top to Pesa. Now Zagota loses it. And Espinoza clears it off the glass. Back into the midfield. 7 minutes left in regulation. The Comets trailing 5-2. They almost closed it to 5-3. But Espinoza was denied along the end boards. Here's Julie V one-on-one against Espinoza. Plays it off the end board. Fires it wide. Rebounds to Charlie Green. Green in the corner. Finally clears it out with 6:34 to go. But the Comets need to keep possession here. They can't afford to just dump it and chase. They need to keep possession and get something going. Look for the 6th attacker anytime now. Marhetic. Moving into the San Diego zone against Chacha Namdar. Now holds on. Cuts it to the middle against Ladiseur. Boy, Ladiseur really battling Marhetic. Finally a whistle call. A foul against San Diego. Cacho. Deep on the left, feeds towards the D. Here's Marhetic to Goosens. Back to Cacho. Left-footed drive up into the crowd it goes. And a goal kick coming up to San Diego. Timeout on the field with 5:54 to go in the 4th quarter, and I score. The San Diego Sockers 5, the Comets 2. Back after this timeout. What an opportunity for George Espinoza.
Yeah, and he just got caught up there, Kevin. He was real tight on the board, and it looked like it could have actually been a handball there by Branko Zagota.
It appeared to hit the arm of Branko Zagota as it came off the boards. Well,
And that, as we all know, Kevin, would have resulted in the penalty shot for the Comets. Had our referees caught it.
The Sockers play it in. George Katakalitis to Zoltan Toth. Toth will pick it up, looks downfield. Just drops it to Kevin Crow. Crow with a goal here tonight. His first of the playoffs. A lot of serve runs right out of his right shoe and finally pumped it back into his own zone. He'll come off the field and Pesa will come on. Sockers control. Kevin Crow. To Katakalitis, drops it back to Crow. Far side, Gene Woolrich. Woolrich retreating to the red line, dumps it back into Zoltan Toth. Toth chips it ahead, looking for Pesa. Ball is knocked back to the San Diego line, controlled by Kevin Crow, and a dangerous play call against Charlie Ficus. That is 4 fouls against Kansas City, 4 against each team at this point in the fourth quarter. Still 5:03 to go. Pesa, long right-footed shot. Oh, he blasted it wide with the right foot. Comets clear it out to the red line. Tasso puts it right through the legs of Pesa. Brings it across the midfield line. Tasso feeds out in front. Knocked back into Zoltan Toth by George Katakalitis.
And full credit, Kevin, to the San Diego Sockers. Right from the opening whistle, they've been fighting and scrapping and biting for every ball they can. And when you got that sort of aggression along with the talent this team has, there's not much you can do.
Ball dumped into the corner. Julie V trying to turn on Timmy Clark. Now Jens Boost as B goes down. And now hold everything. Kansas City is going to call a timeout, and I believe we'll get the 6th attacker on for Kansas City. So look for Charlie Green. In fact, he's already got the jersey on along the Comets bench.
You can follow the exit line.
With 4:17 to go, fourth quarter, we're going to hold it right here. It appears that at least at this point, barring a great comeback by Kansas City, and Lord knows we've seen great comebacks here in the playoffs, that there will be a 5th and deciding game, and it will be at Kemper Arena on Wednesday night. Tickets will be on sale at the Kemper Arena box office and all the Capital ticket outlets. And what can you say? You know, you talk about the playoffs, whether it's in basketball, football, you talk about hockey, Stanley Cup playoffs, but boy, I tell you, when you get to the 5th game, you get to the deciding game, that's where you let it all hang out. All the injured players come off the injured list, and anything goes.
That's right, Kevin, and it's so fortunate for the Comets that we do have the home field advantage. It's always nice for the guys to go back to Kemper Arena knowing that they do have the crowd behind them, and hopefully we will have a big crowd out there for these guys on Wednesday, because, you know, full credit, as Tim Leiweke mentioned during your halftime interview, this team's come in here and they've split 2 games with San Diego. Only the 2nd time in the history of the franchise that someone's come in here and done that here in this arena. So we've still got a lot of credibility going for us, and we can still most certainly pull this thing off in the next game.
Well, the 6th attacker out on the field for Kansas City, and don't forget San Diego, not to project too much, but San Diego with 4 fouls. They pick up another 2, and the Comets would have the super power play on the field. Charlie Green will play it in. Knocks it outside the penalty area to Marhetic. To Charlie Green. The net is empty to our right. Don't go anywhere. It is not over yet. Tasso Koutsoukas on the left side to Ficus. Pushes it back to Marhetic. Crosses it to Goossens. He one-times it up into the crowd. Tough ball to handle for Jan Goossens. And a goal kick coming up to San Diego.
Always the most difficult ball to hit, Kevin, is the ball coming in the air like that, and what they call the volley. It's very, very difficult ball to control. Jan Goossens, of course, probably one of the best people in the league for hitting a volleyball, but in that situation, even a little bit too much for Jan Goossens to handle. Comets have to be very careful here, Kevin, with the speed of San Diego on the transition game.
Hermes pushed down by Dale Mitchell. And the foul against Kansas City. That's 5 against the Comets. Down to 3:40 left in regulation.
Come on!
certainly appreciate you staying up with us at this early hour. Here's Pikus trying to slide it out in front, but Toth comes sliding out himself and covers up. Again, the Sockers playing without Hugo Perez, although he has his shirt back on, but I doubt seriously we'll see Perez again tonight. And he may well be questionable for that game Wednesday night at Kemper Arena.
Well, I certainly won't miss him on Wednesday, that's for sure.
Here's Charlie Green, a shot. Oh, Toth the save. And a big save on Charlie Green. The ball deflects up onto the penalty box area, and we'll get a kick into Kansas City. Down to 3:05 to go. Broncos a go to barking at Marty Templin, and Marty trying to keep control, saying, hey, no more lip from you.
San Diego tonight have made it very difficult, Kevin, for the Comets to play. That one-touch game that they wanted to come out and do. They've closed down quickly, and they've been very aggressive.
Ball is dumped towards the corner. Here's Pikus centering it in front. Nobody home. Zagoda knocked down by Charlie Green, and that'll be a 6th foul against Kansas City. So that is 6, and that means a 2-minute penalty.
And actually, Kevin, it's really a bad place to give a foul away, especially the 6th foul. They're still in there defending third of the field. Even if he gets by you, you've got all the rest of the field to recover. You do not want to give up your 6th foul in this area of the field right here.
And a shoulder into Bronco Zagoda. So the Comets will be a man short. Alan Mayer heads back to goal, and I think at this point it is going to be conceded that there will be, barring a miracle, a Game 5, a deciding game of this best-of-5 game series. And now a bench warning. And let's see who to. 30-second substitution warning to Kansas City. I think that statistic, more than anything, tells you what the Comets will feel about going home. 18-8 at Kemper Arena, and the Sockers, if they are going to defend their 5-time indoor championship, they are going to have to do it the hard way. They're going to have to earn it at Kemper Arena in front of hostile fans, and you can bet the fans will be revved up on Wednesday.
Yeah, the Comets have been very worthy opponents, Kevin, through this whole thing, and they've gained a lot of respect from San Diego.
Here's a go to the blast, just high and wide. Rebounds back to Juan Hermez. 2:30 left of the game clock. 1:41 to go in the penalty. Here's Espinoza clearing it. Now Wilrich, slide tackled by Clark. Wilrich comes back to get it at the midfield line. 2:11 to go. Comets still playing with great tenacity.
It's not as if, Kevin, the Comets actually played that badly tonight. San Diego have been very good, and I don't think it's been a bad performance by the Comets at all. There's no reason to dig down.
Here's Wilrich into the Kansas City zone. Stolen by Espinoza. Now 1:50 to go. Long feed looking for Ian Frazier. Toth way out of his goal. Tries to clear it away from Ian Frazier and does with 1:43 to go. 55 seconds to go in the penalty. Wilrich towards the D. Oh, what a slide tackle by Tim Clark. Clark trying to feed Dave Bonchek. Broken up by Fee. Now Fee almost went after Clark, but they play on. Oh, what a tackle by Timmy Clark. Ball centered. Controlled by Toth with 1:19 to go. Julie V comes off the field. Pesa, along with Wilrich, come on. They find Pesa coming off the bench area. He fired it, and Alan Mayer deflected it. He may have taken that one in the head.
Yeah, I think
Concho on the run.
That came off the helmet of Alan Mayer.
Bonchek on the left side of the San Diego zone. Under a minute to go. 5 seconds left to the penalty. Tim Clark feeds to Cacho, who knocks it high into the air, comes down and into the penalty area. And with 40 seconds left, the penalty has expired. And the Sockers are going to win it. They are leading 5-2. There will be a 5th game. And the crowd of the sports arena on its feet for their hometown Sockers. Their backs were to the wall, and they did exactly what they had to do. Now Toth and Goosen's bump. And a timeout has been called with just 12 seconds to go. And of course, this may be in retaliation for what happened in game number 3, where the Comets called timeout with 17 seconds left. But that margin was only 2 goals at the time, and here the Sockers are on top by 3. So you can bet the Comets will be on top of their game Wednesday night. Zoltan Toth has not been tested all that much in this series, but when the Sockers have needed him, he's come up big. Although we will most probably, if Ron Newman stays with his rotation, see Jim Gorsuch in game 5. But who knows? In game 5, I think all bets are off. You go with your big guns, and you let the chips fall where they may.
If I was going to lay my bets on it right now, I would probably bet any amount of money I got in my pocket right now, Kevin, that they're going to go with Zoltan Toth.
Does that include traveler's checks?
Yep.
All right, the restart in the penalty area. Goosen's will be moved back by Herb Silva. 12 seconds to go. Now Toth will finally pick it up. Oh, he put a shoulder into Goosen's. Goosen's grinning as he heads downfield. Now 3 seconds to go, and that is going to do it. So the 5-time indoor champion Sockers have done exactly what they had to do. They won game number 4 of this best-of-5 series. Final score, 5-2.